Well, I'm not sure if it's the earliest I can remember, but it's quite vivid. When I was a little girl in Irvington, New Jersey, and I was, say, 3 or 4 or 5, and we lived in an apartment behind a store. And I can remember my mother making doll clothes for my dolls, and I just thought that was terrific. And also in another apartment, not far from that first, that's when my brother was born, when I was 6. I can remember that quite well. We were upstairs, and I can remember a Christmas when I came down and surprised my parents putting presents under a tree, and they said to me, "Well, Santa Claus was just here. Didn't you hear him?" And I said, "No, I didn't." And I was just flabbergasted because there was all these toys under the tree. The night before Christmas, I think they were a little upset. And then I can remember my mother going to get my brother to the hospital, and it was pretty good. We thought he was just wonderful. And after that, we moved once more in the same town to a house which we rented. And then I can remember my brother, from the babyhood till he about 1.5.
Oh, okay.
And then my father got hurt and was a carpenter, and he fell off the roof, and so we were forced to buy a house in the country where the insurance people thought he could run a farm even though he was disabled. And so then I had lots of happy memories. The farm, we had chickens, and we had goats, and we had a cow one time, and we had, I think we had a pig one time. Oh, what else? And I was so proud of that. I used to bring the kids over to see all that. It was really special. We were the only ones who had the farm in town. What else can I remember?
And these were kids that were in your neighborhood?
Yeah, well, then when I had started school there, of course, I was about 7. And I'd bring the kids home from school to see all this.
All the farm animals and whatnot? Well, did they live on farms too? Was this a rural?
No, this was a rarity. I mean, as far as I know, my folks were the only people that had a farm in my class.
What town was this? This was
Quantick, New Jersey. Morris County.
And you took the kids home when you were about 7?
7, maybe 8.
I see.
Oh, they're my baby. Oh, there's your cock.
So it was pretty much country in those days.
Yeah.
Doesn't look at all like it is now.
Much different now, yeah.
Well, now these friends of yours, they live more of in a suburb than where?
No, they lived a few blocks away from me, but
they didn't have a farm.
A few farms here and there,
but there was just a few, and then they had their fathers maybe worked in a factory or something, or store owners.
Yeah.
Okay.
This was a depression,
And then you stayed in that house until you got married.
That was 1937 until 1948.
I see.
The end of 48. So about.
What's your earliest memory of your sister Irma?
Oh gosh. Well, I don't know. We shared bedrooms until we both got married. So what can I say?
She's been pretty close to you, nearly the same age.
Yeah, 3 years older, and she didn't really have much to do with me until we were both in high school. Then we started to get a little bit closer.
Then you met a friend named Trudy Winkler, is that right?
Yeah, then I met somebody in high school named 1946, Trudy Winkler.
Was she one of your classes, or how did you meet her?
She was in one of my classes in high school.
Is that how you met her?
And that's how I met her. Of course, she lived in Riverdale.
She invited you over to the house?
Yep. And to meet her brother just home from the Navy.
Oh.
so guess what?
And then you met your first husband, Dick Winkler.
Yeah.
Now, did he ask you out on a date?
No, not for a while. First he was just the chauffeur. He took Judy and I here and there because he drove, of course. He was 4 years older.
So he took you to different places to go?
Movies, and then he picked us up, and he thought I was much too young.
Oh, is that right?
Of course I was.
Yeah, that's right. This was 46, so you'd have been only 16 years old, and he was 20.
Mm-hmm.
Then he finally asked you out on a date?
Yeah, probably 6 months later, something like that.
Oh, I see. That's interesting. Yeah. Okay, and there was a jack-o'-lantern there, right?
Yeah, Dick's parents had bought the, it was more of a diner type or fast food hamburger place, really.
And did you work in there, or just did Trudy work in there?
No, just Dick and Bud, his buddy Bud, who is sort of a foster child to his parents.
Yeah. So anyway, then you got married in 1948, and then you lived in an apartment, Butler?
First place we lived was in Mountain View. We lived with my friend Jenny's mother for a few months.
In Mountain View?
About 6 months.
Ah, I see.
Well, maybe not 6 months. Maybe 3 months. And then we moved to an apartment in Butler. And
what year was that?
49.
And Ellen was born in that apartment?
Ellen was born in the apartment in Butler, yeah.
1949.
September of 49.
And then you had Rick, much myself, 1950. Where were you then?
Well, we were still in that apartment
in Butler.
But then we moved when you were 2 months old.
You moved?
We moved to Pequannock to a house.
You moved to Pequannock.
To a rented apartment.
That's above the Mrs. Graham's.
Yeah, right next to where Vanessa Lumber used to be.
That's right.
And
that was about what year you moved there? 1950?
1950, end of 50, December 50.
1950.
We always moved in December.
Oh, is that right? Why was that?
I don't know what happened.
I see.
My mother used to say, "Oh, do you always have to move in December? It's such a bad time."
I see.
But we did.
And
so we lived there from 50 till 54.
And then you left there.
In 1954, we built the house in Pequannock.
Now, how did you both worked on the house? Now, did Dick do most of the working, or did you equally share the load and responsibility?
Well, no. But Grandma and I did a lot of the work, and everybody. Grandpa helped.
Was this evenings, Saturdays?
Yeah, evenings, Saturdays, Sundays.
Summer months, or was it all year round?
Well, I guess we started in the spring, the spring of 54, and gee, I'm not sure which month we started. And we moved again in December into the house.
Oh, I see. Yeah, and then see, Dick had a bad accident in that house. He fell through some rafters, is that right?
Well, it could have been bad, but it was okay. He didn't really get hurt. He fell all the way through from the second floor down to the cellar through the open rafters.
Yeah. You know, it's funny, but I think I can remember that. I think I was there when it happened, and I believe I remember that.
You were 4 only then.
Yeah, it seems that I remember it, but I
Maybe you
can't.
heard the story, and sometimes you don't remember if it's...
Yeah, it seems to me that I saw it, but then I can't swear to that. But anyway, it's interesting. And then you stayed there in that house till 19...
Let's see, 54 till 60... end of 60.
The end of 19...
No, beginning of 61.
The beginning of 61. Now, you didn't move in December this time.
Well, but we bought it in December, and we kind of started working on it. It was an old house, which I'm still in now, almost 31 years later.
Yeah. So you moved up there to Tuaco, New Jersey there. But what did you think of that area? Was it different from Pompton Plains and Pequannock?
Yeah, it was. It was more rural. No sidewalks. streets unpaved, a lot of them, and
A little more private, a little more privacy.
private. But I didn't realize then that you paid your price for that, because you had to take the kids everywhere in the car.
They couldn't walk places, could they?
They couldn't really
No
walk
sidewalks.
places. They
and-
couldn't really bicycle too easily, and you couldn't walk to a store. Well, you could have, but it,
So your next child that you had was Bill. Well, so you had Susan and Virginia,
no,
Jenny.
First, we Susan was born in that house in Pequannock on Stewart Place.
1957. And 2 years later, Jenny was born.
Jenny was born in that house in 57.
59, right?
59.
And then,
And then
you moved in 61.
61, and then in that house in Tawako, Carol and Bill were born.
Carol and Bill.
61 and 63.
Respectively, yes. Okay.
So it seemed that every time I moved, there was a couple kids added to my family.
Yeah. Well, you lost a husband there, didn't you?
Yeah.
Through death, isn't that right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And you met another husband. You met Tom Ingram, right?
Yeah.
And that was in 19...
I lost my first husband in 1975, and met Tom in the end of 77. We got married in 78.
Uh-huh. Okay. And you've been living in that home and been married to him ever since? Well, good. Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
No, I'm just now the proud grandmother of 10, almost 11 grandchildren, and keep them coming.
Okay. Well, thanks for the interview.
Oh, you're welcome.
Bye-bye.